Arsenal, look away and be wary because Madrid are coming. Arsenal fans, make sure that y'all keep Saliba nice and healthy for me because I'm going to need him to join us at the Bernabéu next season. Now, this rumor has been going on for some months, and I don't think anybody is surprised, okay? Now, how I view this is Arsenal are in a very tricky situation. They're kind of like, it's a double-edged sword, and I'll explain what I mean by that. On one end, you can say, if Arsenal do not win any trophies this season, of course Saliba's going to maybe look to leave because Arsenal have been failing for about 4 to 5 seasons now where they've not won a thing. On the other end of the sword, I can say if Arsenal do win the Premier League, Saliba could say, well, I've done my job here. And then also look to leave even after you win. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of Saliba. Out of all the center backs in world football that I would want us to sign, it's him. I think he is a generational talent at center back. And any deal for him will be a record for a defender. Saliba's going to cost maybe around 100 million. He will reset the market for defenders. He's that good. I don't really think he has any weaknesses in his game either. Maybe sometimes he has like a little lapse in judgment. But as an overall player, there's not many things you could point out that he does not do well. He's good in the air. He's good on the ball. He's good with his man marking. He's aggressive. He makes tackles. He's good at interceptions. He can also play out from the back as well. He is the complete center back. And if you just think of a Madrid defender, he fits the profile. Now, what makes things a little bit tricky is at the moment, we do have Rudiger, who I think is the best center back in the world. And you have Militao, who I think is a very good center back as well. So, from that POV, Madrid don't need a center back that's going to come in and just start right away. But at the same time, Rudiger said this last week on a podcast that he did. If Saliba joins the club, there's so many games throughout the season that you rotate. And if somebody gets dropped because of their poor form, then it is what it is. But squad competition is great. And look at how thin we are at the moment with our back line. This season, technically, we only have 2 center backs, Rudiger and Militao. David Alaba hasn't even returned to training yet. You got Jesus Vallejo, who's fit, but he's shit, so he doesn't count. He might as well not be there. Nacho went to Saudi. We're real thin in that back line, and I do think next summer, defense has to be a priority for Real Madrid. None of this attackers and attacking midfield nonsense. No. We need to address the back line. Look, there's 3 things that Madrid needs to do next summer. Right back, center back, deep line playmaker in that midfield, because we are missing somebody that has qualities to a Toni Kroos. I don't want to see us sign a striker. I don't want to see us sign wingers. No. Center back, right back, deep line playmaker in that midfield. That is what we need to do next summer. And there's a lot of Arsenal fans who think Saliba won't leave them. Are you out of your mind? You know that he's at the France camp right now on national team duty. Madrid are French FC. You don't think he talks to Mbappe, Chouameni, Camavinga, Ferland Mendy? You don't think they communicate? You don't think they're in group chats? You don't think that Saliba would want to come to one of the biggest clubs in the world? You don't think so? Why would he stay at Arsenal? Let's not forget, by the way, how Arsenal disrespected Saliba. Let's not forget about that. Unai Emery signed Saliba. And when Arteta first came in, he binned Saliba off for 2 seasons. You guys know Saliba is number 2 for Arsenal. That's his jersey number. But you know that when we first signed him, he was number 4. That was the number that Saliba wanted, was 4. We gave him the 4. Arteta took the 4 off of him and gave it to Ben White. Saliba don't owe this manager or that club a thing because they disrespected him. Arteta didn't even want to play Saliba, but he was so damn good that he had no choice. It's similar to Lunin with Ancelotti. Ancelotti wanted Kepa to be the starting goalkeeper, but Lunin was so damn good last season that you had to start him. That's the same thing that happened at Arsenal with Saliba. Arteta was not rating him. Don't forget how they treated you. Don't forget. That's all that I'm saying, Saliba. Yo, come to Real Madrid. This deal is not going to happen in January, but it will happen next summer. I'm calling it right now. And I don't even think Arsenal win anything this season. Their fans delude themselves into thinking that all their players are going to just be waiting around to finally win a trophy. Are Arsenal going to win the Prem? No. Are they going to win the Champions League? No. So, for me, Arsenal's best chance of a trophy is the domestic cups. FA Cup, Carabao Cup. But if you're Arteta, you spent over $700 million. And the only thing that you won was an FA Cup in your first 6 months with Unai Emery's team. There's a lot of pressure on Arsenal at the moment. And not from their fans, because a lot of Arsenal fans have low standards. They're just happy to be top 4 again. They're happy to be in the conversation, but they don't actually care if this manager wins it or not because they put no pressure on him. But I think these players, they're not getting any younger. And Saliba already came out and said that he believes he is the best center back in the world, but he needs to win titles. Saliba said this himself. I tell you this, bro, you're not going to do it at Arsenal. And I think he comes to Madrid. I honestly see him there next 8 to 10 years. Stabilize that back line. How old is Rudiger? 32? This would be a very expensive deal, and it will be hard to get done. Even though you could say, well, Arsenal, they don't even sell well. Arsenal do not sell well. That's crazy to think about. But this deal right here would be around $100 million. And it just makes sense. It just makes sense. He fits the profile. He's the right age. I can't think of another center back in world football that I'd take right now over him. I know that we're getting linked to Cuti Romero, Mickey Van de Ven, right? There's other defenders that I've seen us get put in the conversations with. But for me, none of them are as good as Saliba is. None of them have the potential that Saliba does. These Arsenal players are not going to just wait around forever. They will leave. And the meltdown from that fan base, oh my God. Chat, that might be a top 5 day on football social media when this deal goes through. And it will. Because as I said, there's 2 ways to view it. One, Arsenal don't win anything again. Then he says, this is not working out anymore. Like, I have to impress. Bro, this guy plays for France. All his international teammates are at big clubs winning trophies. You think you don't think that they banter each other about, oh, yo, you didn't win no trophies again? You don't think that they banter about that? Okay. But as I said, double-edged sword. You don't win it, and he leaves because the club's just not winning stuff. Or you do win it, and then he says, yo, I won the Premier League. Let me move on to something different. I could flip it either way. But I do believe this deal does happen eventually. Maybe, even if not next summer, maybe the year after that. Saliba has, I think 3-4 years left on his contract. So Arsenal, they really don't have to sell. Saliba would have to force this deal to happen because of the time that's on his current contract. But that's one to consider, chat.